My friends, this is Dr. B, the best doctor in medicine and the most caring doctor in medicine. Today, Dr. B wants to remind you that after more than 30 years at high level in medicine, you should never forget that Dr. B genuinely loves you and Dr. B genuinely cares about you regardless of your gender, ethnicity, political affiliation, religion, blah, blah, blah. I just love you because I love medicine and I love human beings. Today, Dr. B wants to talk to you about one of the major reason why the cost of our health care right here in the United States of America is the highest cost in the entire world. No country on earth has a health care cost that is that of the United States of America. We are by far the number one country in healthcare expenditure, healthcare cost, and our health outcome is lower than many other countries who spend way less than us in healthcare. Right now, September 2025, every year in America, we spend about $4 trillion on our health care. America is a country with a little bit less than 350 million people. In a few years, maybe in 10 years or 8 years, who knows, our country will definitely reach 350 million people. Right now, we are at 340, 342. Pretty soon, according to demographers, we will be at 350 million people. And we are the third most populous country on earth, the third after India and China. And every year, as I just said, our population spends just a little bit under, but almost 4 trillion. Not billion, not million, but $4 trillion on health care. And when I mean by health care, I mean surgery, medication, doctor visit, dental visit, eye care, ear care, everything that is related to healthcare, from chiropractic medicine to surgery to heart transplant to everything you can imagine, to drugs, to prescription medications, to everything else. This is called healthcare expenditures, and we spend a little bit below, about 3.9 trillion. But right now, September 2025, probably next year, we're going to definitely be at $4 trillion, and we're going to even surpass $4 trillion. The same way our national debt, which is about $38 trillion, is growing by $1 trillion per year as of right now, September 2025. One of the major reasons why we spend so much money on our yearly healthcare expenditure is because of the cost, the massive cost of prescription medications. Massive cost of healthcare, of prescription medications. We are the number one country on earth by far with the highest cost of prescription medications. No country on earth has this high cost of medications, of medicines, of drugs, of pharmaceuticals like here in the United States of America. Look at the statistics, official statistics of the Department of Health and Human Services. The USA represents 4% of the world population. And the United States of America, our population, represents 13% of the medicines, medications, prescriptions all over the world. So we represent 4% of the population, but we are at 13% of all the prescriptions, medications that are prescribed in the world. However, 75% of the big pharma's profits come from the United States of America's consumers This 13% of the prescription medications in the world that we are here representing in the United States of America, they make up 75%. Think about this, of the big pharmaceutical industry's profits. Why is that? It is because the big pharma uses me, you, all the Americans to subsidize the cost of research and development of the pharmaceuticals that we buy, of the medicines, and that they sell all over the world. But the other countries, the pharmaceutical industry in the other country, Canada, Mexico, Europe, blah, 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 they sell those prescription medications at such a low cost that they don't barely make any profit, right? But they need to make a lot of profit to line up their own pockets, keep their shareholders happy, and in addition, pay for research and development that costs billions of dollars. So who is the little sucker? Who is the little sucker who pays for 75% of the big pharma's profit? It is the American consumers who buy 30% of the prescription medications, who are given prescriptions by their doctor, by their surgeon, by their dentist, by their chiropractor, whoever it is, and they make up only 13% of the world's prescriptions. But the American sick people who need medications are the big suckers. They are being taken advantage of by the big pharma, who exploits the American people by selling their drugs very cheap in Mexico, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, France, Great Britain, and everything. And instead saying, you know what, because I'm selling them the medication for cheap over there, I need to somehow, some way make a profit and line up my pocket, my shareholders, and pay for research and development. So I'm going to use the American citizens to milk them so that I can make 75% of my profit from 4% of the world population and from 13% of the prescription medications. It is outrageous. It is outrageous. And this is one of but a major reasons why the cost of our healthcare in America is so high. Of course, there's many other reasons, but this is one of the major ones. You see, in Canada, Australia, New Zealand, in Europe, they don't put up with this. They're not going to allow the pharmaceutical industries to rip off their people. So the pharmaceutical industry over there cannot play these shenanigans, right? So they come and they play the shenanigans and decide to milk the American consumers. And guess what? Right now, September, end of September, the new administration, the Trump administration, regardless of your political orientation, my political orientation, has achieved a major milestone. They have decided that enough is enough, and we are no longer going to accept this racket of the American consumer, and they had an agreement, a deal with Pfizer, the number one pharmaceutical industry, to lower their costs and blah, and to invest more money in America and blah, blah, blah. Shame on all the previous administration, whether from right or left, it doesn't matter, who were putting up with the milking, the abuse, the racket of the big pharma towards the American consumer, the American consumers who need these medications. And do you know why they were putting up with that? Because Big Pharma pays for their political campaigns. So in Europe, they have extremely strict campaign finance laws. You cannot in Europe be a politician running for an election, whether that's the city level, state level, federal level, country level, or European level, and go see a pharmaceutical industry and say, you know what, if you pay for my campaign, my political campaign, I will promise that I will push for some laws that are beneficial to you. In Europe, you can't do that. It's absolutely illegal. You go to jail. So you can't do that in Europe. But in America, of course, the political campaign finance laws are so lax, so lenient, that any politician from right, left, anything in between, have these big deals with these, are being pushed by the pharmaceutical companies. They are being given money for their political campaigns in exchange, of course, for favors in Washington, D.C., voting for good laws that will help the pharmaceutical industry and that will not punish them the way they are being punished in Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Europe, and everywhere else. America is a very, very corrupt country when it comes to political finance laws. Extremely corrupt. And again, look at this picture. And if you're not ashamed of our country accepting this kind of bribery from the big pharma, then I don't know what else to tell you. But again, there's a big hope, because right now we have a new law that had a new deal that has been passed with the new administration. Regardless of your political orientation, it doesn't matter. Whether we have a law passed by the left or the right or anybody in between that is beneficial to our country, I clap my hand. So thank God now everything is changing in this regard, and hopefully we're going to have other deals with other pharmaceutical giants so that we, the American citizens, we don't get ripped off anymore by being only 4% of the world population and having only 13% of the world medication prescription, but still having to pay 75% of the big pharma's profit. Now, whether you pay out of your pocket or whether you pay your deductible, or whether it's your insurance company that pays for the cost of prescription medications, or Medicare or Medicaid, doesn't matter. Eventually it's the taxpayer who's going to pay. Eventually it's your premium, your insurance premiums that are going to go up, because the insurer, right, your insurance company, whether it's Aetna or Blue Cross or PP or HMO or Kaiser, it doesn't matter what healthcare insurance you have, when they have to pay for so much money for the prescription drugs, they're going to jack up your premium. That's the problem. So it doesn't matter whether you pay out of pocket or you pay a deductible or your insurance pay. Eventually you pay. Eventually the taxpayer pay. Eventually the federal government pay, and the federal government get its money via our taxes. So I am extremely happy to bring you this good news that there is hope in the horizon. We got one good deal with Pfizer, the number one pharmaceutical industry in the world, and hopefully many other deals will be made so that at last, we the American people are no longer being taken advantage of, are no longer being screwed, are no longer going to be milked by this big pharma. But of course, long term, we will have to pass laws in Congress, congressional action to reform these campaign finance laws, because there's nothing so abhorrent, so outrageous anywhere in the world than here in the United States of America regarding campaign finance laws and all these lobbyists in Washington. Lobbyists, I'm just saying, from right and left. I'm not taking any, it doesn't matter. There are corrupt people. The system is messed up on this side of the aisle and on that side of the aisle, and it doesn't. And the two parties profit like crazy. We need to have congressional action. We need to have campaign finance law reform, and we need to get rid of all these freaking lobbyists in Washington and allow the politicians to go back to helping the people and not help themselves and their career and their pensions and blah blah and their power. God bless you guys, regardless of your gender, ethnicity, color of your skin, religion, sexual orientation. I don't give a cat, so I love you. If you are a human being, I love you. That's why I went to medical school, for the love of people, for the love of medicine, for the love of humanity. Kap kunna krap, sawadee krap, Kopkun Mac. Put your comment down there and I will respond to everybody, I promise, during my busy days, but beautiful days. God bless you all. May God keep you always healthy and successful. All of you guys, remember, I'm always available. God bless you, and I hope to talk to you, Kopkun Nakrap, in the next video. Bye-bye.